Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Thank you for coming and tuning into another What Else is Going On, AKA We Go podcast video. I'm your girl, Taria. Came to take a little break to come and talk to y'all about some things. I'm so glad to be talking to y'all. And listen, we're getting back on track with the podcast with the Housewives episodes. I have 3 guests lined up for the next 3 weeks to talk Salt Lake City and Orange County. So we're getting back on track. I'm trying to decide if my Salt Lake City episodes are always going to come out on Friday because the show premieres tonight, Wednesday, and then I would only have one day to record. And then also Corey, not me, to edit it and get it up by Friday, and then keep Orange County coming out on the following Tuesday. So we're going to go with that for now. See how that works. But we're back on track. We're getting back on track. Thank you so much, y'all, for supporting me and just supporting this endeavor. It is so hard because you just have to, it's like you sometimes feel like you have to sacrifice one thing to make another thing work. But the one thing you're sacrificing is what's making it work now. So you feel like you're on a cycle, but just got to keep going. No matter what it is you're trying to do, just keep going. So let's talk about some things. We're going to talk a little Salt Lake City in a minute. But first up, I want to talk about Tito Jackson. RIP to Tito Jackson. We've lost quite a few people in the last few weeks, from James Earl Jones to Frankie Beverly to Tito Jackson. They say it happens in threes. So I hope that this is like September is doing a number on our community, like for real. So RIP to Tito Jackson. But I wanted to read y'all this. It's truly, life is truly about, we work, we sometimes get caught up. Let me go back. Not life is truly about. Sometimes we get caught up in the working and the money, and this has got to be paid. That's got to be paid. I want to achieve this dream. Can I do it? Can I not do it? And sometimes you get so caught up in that you forget to live life. And sometimes that's hard because there are people that can't live life the way they want to live life, like on budgets and just can't afford, something even simple as I'm not going to say simple, something like the movies, because the price of everything has gone up. And so you just feel like you're caught in this rat race sometimes, right? And some people can feel like, I was talking to a gentleman today that I was driving about it. But we just have to keep going and figure out a way to enjoy life, even if we're going through something at the time. You know what I mean? And when I read this story that I'm about to read to you with Tito Jackson's last day, it was like, wow. So let me go ahead and read it to y'all. This is from Radar Online. Tito Jackson's heartbreaking last words revealed as cause of death is probed by cops after he collapsed in medical emergency at mall. Tito Jackson was in distress before he was rushed to a New Mexico hospital where he was later pronounced dead from a heart attack. RadarOnline.com can reveal Terry Harvey Maltbia, Jackson's business associate and best friend, has opened up about the singer's final moments. Maltbia, again, which was Jackson's business, I think they said business associate and best friend, and another friend, Ronald Balfour, were on a road trip from Oklahoma to California to pick up some of Jackson's vintage cars when he told his friends he couldn't breathe and wasn't feeling good. The trio arrived in New Mexico around 6 p.m. on Sunday, September the 15th. They stopped for a meal before starting the drive back to Jackson's sprawling ranch in Claremore, Oklahoma. Maltbia told the Daily Mail, "We just got done eating turkey and chicken, laughing and talking. We were putting the top on the convertible. We were putting the top on the convertible because it started raining. That's when Tito came back on the passenger side window and said, 'My chest is hurting. Can you help Ronnie to finish the car top?' He said, 'I ain't feeling good in my chest.' He wiped his face off, took off his shirt, and it was like someone had threw a bucket of water on him. Maltbia flagged down officers who were nearby and they called for an ambulance. As he was rolled into the emergency room, Jackson, 70, was still talking, asking his friends to get his insurance card out of his bag. A shocked Maltbia continued, I figured everything was going to be okay since we got him to the hospital and he was still talking. Balfour and Maltbia thought their friend would only have to skip a planned appearance in Atlanta on Tuesday until a woman came out and explained Jackson was not doing well. Maltbia shared, they took me back there and I looked at him. He had about 7 doctors working on him and it got really bad. I called his brother Marlon and that's when he passed away. So it's just, there he was on a road trip with 2 friends to pick up some of his classic vintage cars, and they were headed back to his home, his ranch in Oklahoma. They get something to eat, laughing, talking. And then he said, they go to put the top up on the convertible. I don't feel good in my chest. They flag down police. They get him to the hospital. In the ambulance, he was still talking. And even asking them to get his insurance card. And then the next thing you know, they're bringing, they're thinking, oh, he'll be basically in and out. He's going to miss one appearance he has. And someone is coming out saying he's not doing well. And they go back there and then he's gone. It's just life can be, like that sometimes. And that's why I was saying it's as sad as this is, and as heartbreaking as it is, my heart goes out to his children, his friends, family, all that loved him. I'm glad he got to have that moment with his friends, of them doing the road trip and laughing and talking and all that, because you truly just never know. My father-in-law, the day that he suddenly passed away in 2019, we had a family group chat. My mother-in-law just said, hey, he had to go to the hospital this morning, but they thought everything was going to be fine. She thought he would just be coming home. And somebody that they know that they went to church with for years worked at the hospital. And he came in and they said he was talking and was, fine talking, what have you. And then he had a heart attack as well. So you don't know, you really don't know. And that was in 2019, but you really don't. You just really don't. So I encourage all of us to try to find joy in something, even if you can't do the things you want to do right now, go out or buy this purse or those shoes, or, you may just broke up with your partner or something that's been heavy on you. Try to find the joy in the small things. I'm praying and wishing everybody that's watching and will watch and will listen, just joy somewhere in this lifetime. So again, RIP to Tito Jackson, and I send my love and condolences to his family. Next up, let's talk a little bit more about Diddy. I thought this was perfect timing, if you will. This is according to RadarOnline.com. Sean Diddy Combs' lawyer declares jailed rapper is getting treatment and therapy amid ex-trafficking charges. Sean Diddy Combs is finally getting help as he sits in jail awaiting trial on serious ex-crime charges. RadarOnline.com can reveal the disgraced music mogul's attorney, Mark Agnifilo, claimed his client is getting treatment and therapy during the rapper's arraignment hearing on Tuesday. Agnifilo, 60, said Combs is currently in treatment and therapy for things that most respectfully he needs treatment and therapy for, and he's getting that. Let me say that again. Diddy's attorney said that Diddy is currently in treatment and therapy for things that most respectfully he needs treatment and therapy for, and he's getting that. He added, Mr. Combs is not a perfect person. There's been drug use. There's been toxic relationships, which I think were mutual in their toxicity, as these things often are. Oh, so were they beating him up too? I'm just asking. The lawyer also said Combs' decision to get help at the ripe age of 54 should be applauded, according to People, although he did not detail specifically what the jailed rapper is receiving treatment for. Again, he said Combs' decision to get help at the ripe age of 54 should be applauded. As RadarOnline.com reported, agents from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security descended on a Midtown Manhattan hotel at 8:25 on Monday and took Combs into custody. Prosecutors alleged the I'll Be Missing You rapper had what appeared to be drugs in the hotel room where he was arrested. Y'all, I just realized last night, because we talked about this last night. They said he had 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Mm. Anyway, his lawyer is saying he's getting therapy and treatment now while he's sitting in jail. To me, that just makes the case for him staying in there then so he can continue to get the help and treatment that he needs. And if you notice a pattern with his lawyer is saying he's not a perfect person, but he's not a perfect person, but so people can go out and hurt people. And the excuse can be they're not a perfect person, but no, that some things, no. We know that no one is perfect. So that can just go out the window. No one was looking for perfection out of him, but at the very least, we were looking for him to keep his hands to himself, not to be dragging people and drugging people and wielding his power over people, basically controlling some of their livelihoods through threats of violence and being, what is it called? When you, not when you black out somebody. What happens when blackball people, hurting people? So no one's expecting perfection. We're just expecting decency from people. And apparently that's too much. But yeah, if he's getting help behind bars, that just tells me that he is right where he needs to be. That's not a win. That's not a flex. None of that. So go ahead, Diddy, get your help. Moving on, let's talk about Auntie Wendy. Oof, we all miss Auntie. We know we all miss Auntie Wendy right about now. Well, we've been missing her, but boy, she would be going in right now. Now, this is according to people.com. Wendy Williams Guardian slams A&E Networks in new complaint, claims TV star only received $82,000 from Lifetime doc. This is an exclusive. The complaint accuses the network of willfully taking advantage of a severely impaired, incapacitated person and suggests profits from the program should go to WWH. I know that's Wendy Williams. What's the H? Oh, Hunter, Wendy Williams, WWH, who will need significant funding to provide proper medical care and supervision for the rest of her life. If Wendy had accumulated 55 million in accounts, while I agree that she should have been paid way more than $82,000 if this document was going to be done, you mean to tell me we got to press them for that? Because where's her other money, Sabrina? Wendy Williams Guardian has filed a new complaint against Lifetime's parent company, A&E Television Networks, Lifetime Entertainment Services, E1 Productions, Creature Films, and its executive producer, Mark Ford. The Guardian, Sabrina Morrissey, filed the suit in New York Supreme Court on Monday, September 16th, roughly 7 months after the premiere of Lifetime's shocking documentary, Where is Wendy Williams?, which explores Williams' life under her guardianship. It aired on February 24th and 25th after Morrissey unsuccessfully tried to halt the premiere date in court. Yeah, because it didn't make you look good either. As is patently obvious from the very first few minutes of the program itself, WWH was highly vulnerable and clearly incapable of consenting to being filmed, much less humiliated and exploited, the 75-page complaint alleges. When The Guardian discovered that defendants' true intentions were to portray WWH in a highly demeaning and embarrassing manner, she immediately sought to protect and to preserve her dignity, but the defendants fought to move ahead without a valid contract and released without the Guardian's consent. A fly got in this house. Oh, I hate that. Sorry. Oh, we have one of those zapper things. Get it? Since May 2022, the former Wendy Williams host, the former Wendy Williams show host, has been living under a legal court-appointed guardianship that oversees both her finances and health. And for a year and 4 months, she's been living in an unknown facility to address cognitive issues after being diagnosed with primary progressive aphasia and frontotemporal dementia in May 2023. In a statement on February 2024, her care team at Weill Cornell Medical Center revealed her diagnosis publicly and said that Williams received numerous tests after she began to lose words, act erratically at times, and have difficulty understanding financial transactions. In the new filing, Morrissey, along with famed civil rights litigator Roberta Kaplan, who won an 83.3 million jury verdict in her representation of E. Jean Carroll against former President Donald Trump, and who successfully argued United States versus Windsor, which required the federal government to recognize same-sex marriage, and her partner, Tim Martin of Kaplan Martin, have taken on Wendy's case. So the people taking on Wendy's case won these other cases. Let's see. They claim the network and defendants took advantage of Williams and should pay her for her medical care and supervision for the rest of her life. Not surprisingly, the public reacted with disgust and revulsion at defendants' blatant and vicious exploitation of WWH, the complaint continues, by willfully taking advantage of a severely impaired, incapacitated person. Defendants have made millions on WWH's back, while WWH has received a paltry $82,000 from the documentary. This case arises from the brutally calculated, deliberate actions of powerful and cravenly opportunistic media companies working together with a producer to knowingly exploit WWH, an acclaimed African-American entertainer who tragically suffers from dementia and as a result has become cognitively impaired, permanently disabled, and legally incapacitated, the complaint adds. Eager to sensationalize and profit from WWH's cognitive and physical decline, defendants took advantage of WWH in the cruelest, most obscene way possible for their own financial gain in a manner that truly shocks the conscience. It's almost like Spider-Man's pointing at each other. You did it. No, you did it. Like she's pointing at them about them exploiting her, taking advantage of her. And it would almost seem like she did the same thing with Wendy and Wendy's money, like ran through her money, because where is the money? And it further alleges that the defendants not only deliberately destroyed Williams' credibility and image, but did so for their own financial gain. It also notes that Williams was the laughingstock and drunkard implicitly responsible for her own continued suffering, and numerous photos of her in a wheelchair with her legs spread were dredged up all over the internet, while also displaying her on camera with a nearly bald head, something she would have never, ever consented to and allowed. People reached out to Lifetime Entertainment Services, E1 Productions, A&E Television Networks, Ford, Selby, and Marcy's attorney for comment. As our complaint shows in painful, excruciating detail, A&E, Lifetime, and Mark Ford viciously and shamelessly exploited Wendy Williams for their own profit while she was obviously incapacitated and suffering from dementia. Kaplan Martin, LLP, and called Wallader, Wickersham, and Taft, LLP, attorneys for Wendy Williams' guardian, alleged in a statement to People. So they're the attorneys for Sabrina Morrissey who filed this. Who's paying for those attorneys? Where is that money coming from? Is it coming out of Wendy's money? Their behavior truly shocks the conscience, and they should not be permitted to profit from her suffering. We are proud to represent her guardian in holding them accountable. I agree. It's almost like like everything they're saying is true. Everything, the complaint that Wendy's guardian, Sabrina Morrissey, filed is true. I'm also still looking at her sideways. Where's Wendy's other money? Have you turned in the court-ordered documents over to Kevin? Or have you turned the documents over to the court that Kevin was requesting, listing where Wendy's money went, like an itemized list of where Wendy's money is? Have you turned that over? Because the judge said you had to. So while you're filing this complaint, and again, who's paying for this? Is this coming out of whatever money Wendy has left over, paying these lawyers? I don't know. Yeah, my heart just feels for Wendy. It really, really does. I was glad to see those pictures a couple of weeks ago of her and her son. She looked better, which is good. And it seemed like she's able to see her son. At least she was then. So that's good. They also say that Williams' signature on January 25th, 2023 doesn't appear to be genuine, and there is no evidence she signed the contract to do this. In all events, WWH was incapacitated and unable to consent at the time the contract or its amendments were executed, even if she had signed it, which she did not. The complaint also alleges that Guardian Morrissey was not involved in the program or the contract and was not shown a copy of the contract until months after it was purportedly executed. Morrissey also claims that the defendants continued to reach Williams after filming Wrapped, but she refused to allow further exploitation. At the end of the day, I hope that I do agree, $82,000 for y'all to put her out there like that. I agree that she deserved more. And I do question if Wendy even knew what she was getting herself into. On the other hand, though, I'm glad that it exposed the people around her that were supposed to have her best interest at heart, because clearly a lot of them did not. Prayers up. I know we keep this fly. Prayers up for Auntie Wendy, seriously. And I hope that she gets everything she deserves in a good way. She worked her life to be in a good spot. You know what I mean? And for her to be going through this now it is heartbreaking. So we love you, Auntie Wendy. And again, we pray that you get everything good that you deserve. And Sabrina, if you spent up Auntie Wendy's money, I hope that you get everything that's coming to you as well. Last story, let's talk a little bit of Bravo. So The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City premieres tonight. I'm so excited for this season premiere. So there is a little bit of shade thrown on the internet, on the X streets between Meredith. It seemed like Meredith and Lisa were on the same side, and the shade was against Angie K. So I'm going to say where I believe it started. So it looks like Meredith did a Page 6 interview where she claimed she liked Angie better when she was Jen's backup dancer in social media videos. Because, you know, they used to do these dances, and Angie would be in the videos dancing with Jen. So Meredith, when she sat down with Page 6, said, I guess based on this season versus previously when she knew her, she said she liked Angie when she was Jen's backup dancer in social media videos. Angie said, Greeks are known to be great dancers. That's how I dance my way to center stage. And then it has a snowflake. She then alluded to her scroll of accusations against Lisa, which was teased in a recent trailer. She said, I'll be adding this to my scroll. So I guess like she's got all these accusations against Lisa, and I guess she was going to add now what Meredith said about her to her scroll. So Meredith then tweeted, the only scroll I read is the Torah. And it was over a video of Jen and Angie dancing. So Meredith, in this Page 6 interview, talked about she liked Angie better when she was Jen's backup dancer in social media videos. Then Angie says, Greeks are known to be great dancers. That's how I dance my way to center stage. I guess snowflake. She then alluded to her scroll of accusations against Lisa and said, I'll be adding this to my scroll. Meredith then posts a video of Jen and Angie dancing and says, the only scroll I read is the Torah. Lisa Barlow chimes in, Lisa should have ate her food, and says underneath that post, remember how you charged Jen for a party you offered to throw? I'm surprised you could get all of this out there without tripping over all of that lip filler. Pay your employees that $9 an hour just isn't cutting it. Ciao. Angie responded, true. I was real friends with Jen until I learned she'd scam the elderly out of money. Unlike you, who followed her all the way to prison for airtime, with a red heart emoji. Mazel tov to baby gorgeous. Glad to see your spirits are up considering all of your recent legal and repo troubles, with the kissy face. Hashtag RHOSLC, baby. So then she also replied to Lisa saying, remember how you charged Jen for a party you offered to throw? I'm read it again. I'm surprised you could get all this out there without tripping over all of that lip filler. Angie retweeted and said, "My lips are full as my life. Thanks to my doctor, who I pay with my own Amex card, not a Park City mystery man's. Unlike Lisa G's wagon, my lips can't be repoed. I'm not your bestie in prison, so I'm not interested in a gangbang. But it's cute you two had to team up. Night." Hashtag RHOSLC. Ah, woo, cha! Can't wait for tonight, baby. I'm watching live. Are y'all excited about the premiere of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City? I know I am. I will be watching, and I'm gonna be watching them internet streets too to see what else they getting into. Y'all, I love y'all so much. I will talk to y'all later. See ya.